What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Leaksbork here, and today we've got a quick video, probably at least 5-10 minutes of explaining on how to actually set up your Elgato HD60S. I know I've been using this for quite some time. Sorry about the chair squeaking there, it's got to get oiled, I know that. But for using this for at least the past year or two when doing my channel, I have come across a few bumps in the road here or there in regards to actually tweaking the settings or just first starting out and setting it up. There isn't a whole lot out there on what you should and should not do. I've watched a few other videos in the past on trying to resolve problems with why it wouldn't upload, and everyone said you gotta, make sure all your stuff's up to date when it already is, or maybe your drivers are out of date, which they weren't. I'd get sometimes when they release this, I got freezes and crashes of the software, or sometimes the UI interface wouldn't really be that up to par, I guess. While it would still say it's recording, but it's not, and you wouldn't be able to exit out of it, so you'd always have to go back and use Task Manager. So right now I've got the video going up here that I'm recording that you guys can see, but you can't see the screen on my portion here. So I'm running two screens, that's why you're not able to see it at the moment. When I drag it over here, so we'll have this here. Once you actually get the app for the game capture up and running, you'll come like this. When you run two screens, you won't actually see, mirroring itself. You'll see just one screen with your background, whatever you got to be doing. You'll see your PS4, Xbox One, Switch, PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, background information, whatever you need to get started to actually hit record or, put commentary in. So when you first get your HD60S, you'll bring up your Elgato website where you need to go to, and you'll want to go to downloads, and you're going to want to look for your game capture for Windows, or if you have, they'll even do, what do you want to call it, one for Mac too. You'll just click the Mac version. Sorry about my phone, I should have put that on vibrate. But they'll have the Mac version here too, possibly a Linux version. I haven't been able to figure that one out yet. If you do have a Linux build, it should be around the same. But we have Windows, so we're going to go here. And when you download it, you're just going to download your game capture that comes out to download 3.7. I've been meaning to pick up a Stream Deck, but I can't because I only have like a 0.5 megs of upload speed, so I can't really do anything for streaming. I mean, I can stream on my PS4 to YouTube or Twitch, but that's about it. I wanted to get into streaming more on my PC, but I can't for that reason, because if you're not running two PCs, it takes up a lot, and I don't want to run two PCs at this time. I haven't gained that following that I needed to, but we're working on that slowly, so bear in mind with me on this. So basically, once you hit your game capture to download whatever it is, it'll come up with the wizard install. It'll tell you what you're compatible with here, or your HD60S Pro, 4K 60 Pro, which would be nice to own, but I don't need it because we have this. This works perfect to install on my computer. It's easy, fast, and it works wonderful when recording on my PS4 or my PC. I have recorded, I believe, in the past on my Xbox One with it, but I really didn't like the whole setup version for it. It just felt weird, so we just stuck with the PS4 and PC. I do know that when first downloading it or actually trying to record games, it was a bit of a pain because you'd actually have to flip the HD60S backwards for a PC to PC recording. So your out would be your in, your in would be your out. So it was just very backwards. But they did fix it, I think like maybe 3 or 4 updates ago, to where you didn't have to keep switching it. So now instead of actually reversing it each time I want to switch from PC to console, I can just plug one in and plug one out. I don't need to keep reversing it from my out to my in and my in to my out. All right. Another cool thing too is if you're playing with your friends, you can get a party chat link cable. I believe that's what it's called. I haven't really looked that much into it on Elgato's website, but you can get that, and you can record your commentary plus your friends, your live streaming with your friends or whatever you got to do. So, but first, before I talk about anything else, we're going to jump into here and we're going to just talk about going over overall the setup of what and how I record my videos so that you guys can do the same, because I know when I first started doing this, trying to figure out how to run my game capture, it would show you how to set it up, but it wouldn't show you how to actually go through your settings and what you needed to do to get to where you need to be at to record videos and such. So there's going to be a few steps here. So when you first start out, it'll basically bring you to something like this. Like, it'll say you're all ready to go, you know, everything's good to go, whatnot, blah blah blah. If you were to actually unplug it, which I won't, it'll come up with like a screen, in a sense, of, hey, is everything plugged in? Make sure your Elgato's plugged on, turned in, you know, make sure your PC's powered on or your console's powered on. You know, if it comes up as a black screen like that, it'll tell you to retry again or something. I forgot the whole thing on exactly how it was, but that was one of my major faults when first starting, is actually setting it up and getting to where it needed to be an operational. So basically figuring that out was a huge step, but once you figured it out, it was very simple. So we're going to jump into here, and one of the first big steps is when getting to actually start recording is going into your preferences. So you're going to just come over here. You don't need to touch anything around here just yet. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to jump in here and you'll go to Game Capture HD Preferences. And basically everything in here is of useful information and sourcing to what you need to get started. So basically, for those of you who don't have a lot of space or are running or a solid state or a hard drive, or just two hard drives in general, like me, I run my solid state as my primary, and then my hard drive is my secondary. So basically, my D drive is going to be my main thing for downloading stuff, you know, uploading whatever it's got to be for games, whether it be videos, games, streams, you know, to get my stream code, you know, replays, anything like that, always goes into my D file, or my EGC videos D file, sorry. Whether it be exporting, you know, multiple things for my video, whether it be the commentary export, the video export, or whatever else it is, my flashback recording, which I don't really use, but I do use the stream command when I need to. That's only if I'm streaming, which I don't ever, because I can't. But another good one is the streaming or the sharing buttons. You can basically come into your share and you can click between your YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, email, Apple TV, iPad, iPhone, Movie Maker, and file MP4 exports. You can, what I thought was really cool is if you do have really good internet, you can simultaneously export multiple videos at once. I don't know how many you can do. I think you can at least you can do a maximum of 10. I don't go that much because my Wi-Fi just can't handle it, because I only get like 12 megs up here where I'm at. But when you first start out, you always want to make sure all these are checked for your tracks, for your mixings, your webcam overlays, live commentary, auto, and your sound capture. The sound capture I'll get into a second, which is really helpful because that's one of the things that will really throw a lot of people off when actually trying to record. So basically, when you do that, you just make sure all this is good. Make sure you're automatically checking for updates, so that way you don't have to sit around and wait. Your computer will just pick it up automatically whenever you're on, which is always good. Hotkeys, I like using my hotkeys because it saves me time from going down and actually hitting the record button and clicking on the commentary, making sure all my buttons are up to code. Oops, if I can actually move this here. So, sorry. But yeah, make sure all of your buttons are where they need to be. If I can, dang it, if I can get this here. Oh, there we go. And get it. So what I like to use for my hotkeys or my bindings, I use my plus symbol and minus symbol as my We want that on. So see what I just did is I was just talking and accidentally clicked the wrong button for commentary, which is not good. So my audio probably cut out there for a moment because I just realized that. I hit the minus button. So basically, what I was getting at to before I cut out my audio is that it's nice to have these start and stop buttons so you're not actually fumbling around with this here and this here all the time, because sometimes they don't like to actually pop up. Whoops. But, you know, you just make sure they're there. I got mine set to always on. So as soon as I pop my stream up, we'll be good to go. Or recording the video, whatever you name it. Another thing here is for the live streaming stuff, that's the second one. Or wait, no, sorry, it's the profiles. That's what I wanted. It's device settings. So now that we went through the game capture preferences, we're going to get into the actual game capture HD60S itself, which is the device settings. So now that we have the device settings up, you're actually able to choose from a bunch of different profiles you can make and store, which is very helpful, by the way. Believe me, I should know. Because I'd come in and try to switch back through stuff from console to PC. It's just a hassle. My throat's drying out. Sorry, I don't ever talk this much. Oh, shoot. I'm going to cut that part out. So don't worry. So, but yes. When it comes to editing the HD60S preferences, it's very nice to always come in and make a profile. Of course, my PS4, I'm on the PS4 one right now. But if I were to switch over to the PC version, then it would probably stop recording, but we're not going to do that. So yeah, you can come in here and make a new profile. And we'll just name it EGC. And it's cool because you can switch now between the two. And we'll go back. You can always select your audio gain. I keep mine at 0 because you don't need to mess with this one. Same thing with the picture. We're not switching hues or anything like that, or saturating everything. But you come in here and you can collect, you know, iPhone, phone, PC, PS4, Switch, you name it. Same thing with your video input. It's HDMI only, so that's what we're stuck to. Same thing with the quality of the video. Since we're on PS4, or that we're doing PC here at the moment, it's going to basically be stuck at best. When I'm recording on my PC, I'll downgrade it to better quality because I'm not recording off of two PCs, so it really chews through my i7, which I hate. So that's why it does that. The quality will go down just a little bit, but we're still maintaining that 60 frames per second, which is good. So what you're going to want to do is when you come in here right away, you're going to select whatever console you're using, whether it be PC, PS4. Make sure it's on. Make sure your HDMI is switched to HDMI audio for game capture. Your color range, unless you're using like a 4K whatever, I just keep mine to standard. Even with PC, I do all this. This is all the same, except for my quality. I keep the quality a little down on PC just because some people I know want to record and get into the gaming scene, but they can't afford an awesome, fantastic rig. So we just, you know, keep the quality down a tad, you know, to make stuff still look good. You can even make it go to 30 frames per second if that's what your computer can handle. You can even go into HD720p or I, which is always nice. I think you can take it to 6040 too, but I'm not quite sure. I can't look at anything here. But it'll always tell you what your input is, and I'm running off of my two monitors, so which is nice. My input is what my monitor is right now, and then my output is where it's going to, which is from my PC. Or my input is my PC, my output I think is my monitor. I don't know exactly, it's one of those two, but it will be fine. So now that that's set up, we're good. We'll back out. Game audio is nice. We'll shrink that. We'll get into live streaming here now. Live streaming, if you're going to get into live streaming, this is very helpful because I know a lot of guys want to go onto Twitch and do that stuff. So basically, you'll come in here, you'll set your account up. Oops, my bad. I just gotta click one. So we'll yeah. So basically, you set your account up. You can add, I think it's Twitch. Yeah, here it is. Yep, you can add your Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, Mixer. I know a lot of people use Restroom, i.e. Ustream, Dailymotion, RTMP, .. //. I haven't really heard of anyone using that. Same thing with Dailymotion. I know people do that. Ustream, I've never heard of, and Restream? Yeah, not Restroom. Sorry, my bad. Restream. I've never heard of that either. Mixer I know is big, but Twitch and YouTube are probably the top ones that I hear and see people use all the time. But I prefer my YouTube because that's what we're trying to grow off of right now before we actually get into Twitching. So when you actually have that set up, it'll come up with your stream code and all that good stuff. It'll walk you through everything. So basically, your megs per second is your latency, which 8 megs, I don't know, I forgot what it was. If it's 8 megs is upload, I'm pretty sure your upload speed, like mine would be set to here, which is pretty freaking terrible. So we're really not going to try to get into that too much. Now back to game audio. When you're playing games or actually recording, it'll come up like how I'm talking here. It'll come up, as the bar will push your minimum, your max for decibels, which is always good and bad. I usually keep it at 66, and I keep my live commentary to 55. So I just keep it 10 below what I need it to be, because it makes it sound so much crisper, in my mind anyways. And when I look back and try to edit stuff, it sounds really nice. But I mean, that's up to you. You can switch it up to 100%. If you were to do that, I would recommend automatically reducing game sound, which it will tone it down while you're talking, but it just doesn't sound the same. So it really like cuts in and cuts out. I wouldn't say cuts in, cuts out, more like fades in and fades out while playing games. I noticed that, so that's why we sort of keep it at a 66 and a 55. Basically, when you're getting into live commentary, I just click this, so it's making me sound really shoddy. But when you click your live commentary, I had to turn it off because I don't want to hear myself. But when you click live commentary, you can basically listen to what you're hearing and what you're saying. I don't like the sound of my voice, so we just leave it off. But yeah, you can always adjust, your stuff. It makes you talk louder like this, like I'm speaking. Otherwise, we can talk down here, and I'm talking my normal voice how I am. But you can raise it up like this, way to need, and you can just select how you feel like what you want to sound like and how close. Like I don't like sounding like I'm talking out of someone's ass, so we keep it at a 55. For the longest time, it took me a while to get my settings right, because I wanted it to be perfect. So it took me quite some time to get to where I needed to be, and I finally found it, which was between 66 and 55. That's a pretty damn good ratio of gaming audio and me talking. If I go back and listen to my recording of me talking for my live commentary, I'll adjust it accordingly on the next video, which is always good. So I'll probably maybe turn it up to a 60, depending on where I feel it's necessary, that I find what my audio commentary is lacking. Oh man, this chair's squeaky, we gotta oil it. But yeah, you can go into settings, and you can always pick your threshold. I'm at negative 36 dB, and my attenuation is at 12 dB. You can always do a mono down mix, but I don't prefer doing that just because it doesn't really sound right to me. So we sort of leave it where that needs to be. And then one of the fun things to actually do, forgot, you can select where your mics are or what mics you are using. Like I do know that if I were to put in my A40's mic, pretty sure it would come up. I don't think it would. So we'll select that. Yeah, no, it doesn't come up, but that's okay. But if I were to actually go into my settings for, my speakers, I could select what I needed, whether it be between my Realtek my Elgato, my USB, or my Yeti. And then if I'm actually doing my HTC Vive 2, it'll come up in here, but we don't need to select that because that messes up a whole lot of stuff and it takes me some time to figure out what's what. So the next portion that I want to jump into is the sound capture. Oops, didn't mean to. So if you were, when downloading your Elgato software, it'll tell you to download the Elgato sound capture, which it never used to do that, but now it's sort of like an add-on that automatically comes with it. And if you don't, I recommend you do download that because you're not going to be able to hear anything whatsoever without it. I could be wrong, but when I was messing with it and didn't download it after I uninstalled and reinstalled this, was just putting around with it, it wasn't playing anything at all. I couldn't hear, couldn't talk. So I would advise you to download it, but once you do, something will pop up that looks exactly like this. It'll come up as your sound capture, and it'll bring up information. I would click the info, and it'll give you tips and whatnot on why and troubleshooting scenarios. But I figured it out on my own. I don't need it. So basically, when you first get it, it'll come in off mode. I only use the off button if I'm actually recording on my PS4. For some odd reason, it doesn't come with anything for that. Otherwise, I do use advanced mode, which gives you a little bit more options to actually choose from. But when I'm recording through my PC like I am now, you would simply come over and select PC gaming. You'll be able to capture your PC through your HDMI, including sound in your speakers or headphones or whatever you got to do. But you can also link it up with your TeamSpeak or your Discord or whatever you use out there to talk to your teammates, to get your teammates' voice to be recorded. I've tried it a few times and I just didn't really like messing with it because it would mess up a few other things of mine that I just didn't want to do. And you could probably go in later videos and see that for yourself. Otherwise, you can do and go and add music. But if you're just strictly looking for PS4 and PC gameplay, then these two here are the way to go. So when selecting your PC gaming, you'll come up with your output of whatever. I just leave it at 100 because basically it comes here and it's basically running off of this. That's basically it. So when it comes in the settings, you'll just select, it'll say, hey, where do you want to put your PC, where do you want to hear your PC gameplay? And I just do it off of my Realtek, which is my A40s. That's what I use it for. So you'll just leave it like that. So wait, where is it? Speakers. We'll leave it there. It'll also tell you about your output, what it's connected to. This is where it gets a little weird because when you're recording your PC gameplay, your HD60S is not connected to anything but the USB-C and the two HDMI cords. There's nothing else to connect the HD62. It's not, there's nothing there. There is an audio device, an aux-in port, but that's for the chat link for the PS4 controller or the Xbox One controller, which I don't use because I don't talk to any of my friends on my PS4 when I'm recording videos. It's just me. So I actually just plug in my headset, my aux cord for my A40s into my PS4 controller, and I will use the A40 mic that it came with, and I'll go into a party chat and record that way because for some reason the Elgato still picks up the sound from that. So instead of me running another wire, I just do it that way. Even when I have friends in the party for my PS4, it'll still somehow pick up their voices, even though I'm not using the party chat or the link cable for the controller. So basically we leave that out. If you want to just get technical, you can go into advanced settings. It'll show you more info about multiple playback devices, which is okay. So I have all these checked because I want this to be my default playback device because it works wonders. So you just assign the sound capture to my PC, which I would do, and you would do if you would prefer that, because then you wouldn't have to start it up or anything like that and run through hoops again. Your audio input, which is basically like the microphone. So when you start it up, it'll ask you where you want to put it. I only have You can either select none or whatever, whatever mic you use, which I'm using my Yeti, my Blue Yeti. That's what we're using. And that's where I'm basically planning on using my mic. If you can run different mics to select, I wouldn't really recommend running anything else other than a Blue Yeti. I'm not promoting, I'm not getting paid for this, just saying, so don't be looking forward to any discount codes or anything like that because I don't got them. But if you can't afford a Blue Yeti, you can still use your headset's mic, which still works really well. It's just going to be lower quality. As you can see in my earlier videos that I have performed, the mic quality is not the best. I think I went through at least like 3 or 4 different mics for different headset microphones because I just couldn't find the one that I wanted, and I settled on the A40s, and it works wonders. The sound quality is there, but I just wanted to take it a step further and actually get a really nice microphone, which happens to be the Blue Yeti. So basically when it comes up and it says, where do you want to hear your audio? You can't hear anything out of your HD60S because there is no port for it. There is, but you're not using it. So what you're going to want to do is you just want to check your speakers. It'll come up with whatever you have selected. Like I've got 3 different speakers here. It's my Realtek, my USB audio device, and the Yeti microphone. Here's where it gets interesting, is that I only have, I think, 2 speakers actually hooked up. Well, yeah, 1, and that's the Yeti. But for some odd reason, it counts my Yeti as 2. I don't have anything plugged in for a USB audio device. I'm just actually running my A40 through a splitter, which works wonders. If you don't have a splitter, I suggest you get one, because it'll just be easier in the long run, believe me. But you're not going to be able to hear anything for your Yeti because it's taking it in, not pushing it out. Or whatever mic you use. Condenser mic, I don't know. But that's that. You can click Restore to Defaults and try to figure out different settings, what suits you. But we just leave mine at that. Alright, so now that we're done with that portion, we're going to get into actually recording itself. So when you hit the record button or your commentary or your stream, you can always at the end of the video or before, you can actually make tags and upload for, or I should say through your HD60S to YouTube, to Twitch, whatever you name it. So it's not just set to one thing, which is I find nice, but the only problem that I have had with actually uploading through my HD60S is that it would tell me there was a 15-minute video limit or 15-minute length limit to all of my videos, which isn't true. It just, for some, it's like a cautionary thing I guess they put up there. I'm not exactly quite sure why it does that. I couldn't figure it out to save the life of me, but my videos still do go up. I feel like it takes longer, and sometimes you're pressing your luck because when you're actually uploading, it'll actually just stop uploading, and it'll freeze itself for some reason, like it'll crash. The actual UI interface for the Elgato HD60S, whether it be the 4K 60, the HD60, the 4K, whatever it was called for the PC, it'll crash. Even the HD60 will crash. So that's why I don't upload as much through the HD60 app as I should be. I just would go to YouTube, hit upload, because the video automatically saves itself, which is nice. So when you are actually going into edit, you can actually come over here and edit. I don't think it'll actually show anything, but it's fine. You probably won't be able to see it. It'll just come up as paused. But on the edit one, you can actually cut your video where you need it to be. You can cut out, I know I'm going to be cutting a few parts of this out because I'm tacking up a lung. But it's cool because you can actually move pieces around, almost like Photoshop in a sense, or video editing, video maker, movie magic, whatever you want to call it. You can drag and drop stuff. You can add scenes to that. You like pictures and things. I haven't really done that because I don't want to get into that phase yet because we're still growing. But like I said before, I just recently got into actually going on and making thumbnails for my channel, which is very helpful. So by that, I just use Canva. It's free. It's a free picture thumbnail editing tool, which is nice because you can actually cut out, make your stuff transparent. That's how I got all of my thumbnails from previous videos to be on there. So take a look at that. That works out wonders. But yeah, you can edit scenes, cut stuff out, make montages, which is very nice if you're on a budget. But back into this, when we're actually live streaming, recording, whatever, you can, especially with live streaming, I should say, you can always bring up, this will be closed, but you can bring up your stream command here like so, and you can actually bring up backgrounds for live streaming. I don't know, I don't really ever use these, like I said, because I can't, but it's got your video, like Twitch a lot. You can always add scenes or add overlays. You can get scenes, curated scenes, sorry. You can even do stuff for the HTZ Vive. You can add images, videos, text, to whatever you need to, whether it be videos, pictures when you're recording, which I am going to be doing sooner or later down the road. Whoops, I don't want that. But yeah, they've got all these additional ones in here, and it might even come up as adding. Yeah, see, like pictures you can add. But this is, I think, the one that I downloaded, which I have yet to use, but it comes up as the, what do you want to call it? The video intro, which I thought was cool, which I might start putting in videos, so be on the lookout for that. It'll be nice. But you can always do flashback recording. You can take screenshots as well as disable preview. So I mean, basically like this. It might not come up. I don't think so. I don't know, but it'll be previews, whatever you need to do. Your live stream button is here. Like I said, you can always adjust your live streaming stuff within your live streaming command bar, which is nice, I think, anyways. But if you were to come here, you can always come into advanced streaming options. When getting into it, you can make it public. You can hit your max at 1080, which it should be that max frame rate. 60, I think this is for PS4 gaming, not PC. That's why it's set up like that. But it'll adjust accordingly, which is always nice. So, yeah, I mean, I know I've seen other videos like this not get this in depth for the 32-minute video, but I thought I'd actually come out here and actually do this because they're here, but they're pretty shitty. I shouldn't say pretty shitty, they're just not that in depth. So if you guys like the video, please hit that like and subscribe button for more. I will be uploading tomorrow or the next day another video, so we'll hop into that. So be on the lookout for this one and the next one to come. Thanks for watching, you guys. Have a good one.